Did the man who had everything spend his life singing about what he'd lost? What if the swagger was just a shield for a profound and constant ache? When Elvis Presley sang, the world heard a revolution. But did we hear the confession? Below the surface of the million-dollar smile and the gold-lamed suits, there was a different story. It was a story of memory, of roads not taken, and of a past that was never really past. It was etched into the grooves of his records, hidden in plain sight. Number 17 was the King singing his own eulogy. The song An American Trilogy was recorded by Elvis on February 16th, 1972. This was during his run at the Las Vegas Hilton. The arrangement was created by country artist Mickey Newberry, who combined three 19th century songs, Dixie, the Battle Hymn of the Republic, and a spiritual called All My Trials. And Elvis performed the song 256 times in concert, making it a staple of his later years. The version released on a single was a live recording from February 1972. The lyric is, "All my trials, Lord, soon be over." This line isn't just part of a song. It's the final, quiet plea in a medley that represents a nation's fractured history. But when Elvis sang it, it became deeply personal. The medley starts with the wistful Dixie, a song of longing for a lost home. It moves to the bombastic battle hymn of the Republic, a call to glory and judgment. And then it ends here. After all the conflict and the noise, it settles into this quiet, weary prayer. Elvis's delivery of this line is what transforms it. His voice, which just moments before was soaring with orchestral power, drops to an almost whisper. He sounds tired. Not just physically tired from a demanding Vegas show, but existentially tired. A man who has seen too much. A man who carries the weight of his own myth. All my trials. He wasn't just singing about some abstract historical struggle. He was singing about his own. The trials of being Elvis Presley were immense. He was a boy from Tupelo, Mississippi, who became the most famous man in the world. He lost his mother, Gladys, in 1958, a wound that never healed. He was drafted into the army at the height of his fame, a 2-year interruption that changed him forever. He was funneled into a decade of bland Hollywood movies, a creative prison that dulled his artistic fire. And by 1972, he was a fixture in Las Vegas, a king in a gilded cage, performing twice a night, every night. When he sang Soon Be Over, it wasn't a hopeful declaration. It was a sigh of exhaustion. It's the sound of a man who has fought his battles, won the world, and found it empty. He is looking for release. The line is crushing because it's a glimpse behind the curtain. The jumpsuit, the cape, the adoring crowd, they all disappear. We're left with one man on a stage, under a spotlight, quietly begging for peace. He's not singing to the audience anymore. He's singing to something higher, something beyond the glitz of Vegas. He's looking back at the long, strange road he traveled and asking for an end to the journey. It's the sound of a soul that has been fighting for a long, long time and is now ready for rest. It's a stunning moment of vulnerability from a man whose job was to be invincible. Number 16, What If Your Whole Life Becomes an Apology? Elvis recorded Always on My Mind on March 29th, 1972. It was recorded at RCA Studio C in Hollywood. This session took place just a few weeks after he and Priscilla officially separated on February 23rd, 1972. The song was not even the A-side. It was the B-side to the single Separate Ways, another song directly about their breakup. The session was a last-minute affair, scheduled to produce a new single reflecting his personal turmoil. The lyric is, "Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have." This is one of the most direct and painful admissions in his entire catalog. The word maybe is a weak shield. It's the sound of a man who knows he's guilty, but can't quite bring himself to say it without a little bit of protection. He's not saying I didn't treat you well, he's saying maybe I didn't, as if there's some doubt, but there is no doubt. The rest of the song makes that clear. It's a confession wrapped in the thinnest layer of self-preservation. quit as good as I should have. It's an understatement that speaks volumes. It's the language of a man looking back at years of neglect, not one single mistake. This wasn't about forgetting an anniversary. This was about a fundamental failure in a relationship. Given the timing, it's impossible not to hear this as a direct message to Priscilla. He was the biggest star on the planet, constantly on the road, surrounded by his entourage, living in a bubble. In that bubble, the small daily acts of love and attention likely got lost. His vocal performance is what makes the line so devastating. There's no bravado. His voice is tender, almost fragile. He's not the king of rock and roll. He's a man sitting alone in a room, replaying his mistakes. You can hear the regret in his tone, the gentle rasp of a man who has run out of excuses. The song isn't an attempt to win her back. It's a statement of fact. It's a final, quiet acknowledgement of his own shortcomings. The past in this lyric is a landscape of missed opportunities. He follows it up with, maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have. Each line is another layer of regret. He was there, but he wasn't present. He had her love, but he didn't nurture it. The song is crushingly sad because it offers no solution. The past is fixed. The mistakes have been made. All that's left is this belated recognition. It's the sound of a man who finally understands what he had, but only after it's gone. And he knows deep down that the fault lies with him. It's a quiet, heartbreaking inventory of his own failures. Number 15 is Loneliness, a Room, or a Universe. And Elvis first heard Heartbreak Hotel in November 1955. The songwriter Mae Boren Axton played him a demo. Elvis loved it instantly. He recorded it on January 10th, 1956 at RCA's studio in Nashville. It was one of his first sessions for his new label, RCA Victor, after they bought his contract from Sun Records for $35,000. The song was released on January 27th, 1956, and became his first million-selling single. The spare, echo-heavy sound was an attempt to replicate the sound of Sun Records, but it ended up creating something entirely new and haunting. The lyric is, "The desk clerks dressed in black." This isn't a throwaway detail. It's the key to the entire song. This isn't just a hotel, it's a place of mourning. The desk clerk isn't just an employee, he's an undertaker. He's the gatekeeper to this world of despair. Black is the color of grief, of finality. From the moment you check in, you're entering a place where hope has died. The song is a journey into a specific kind of despair. It's not just about being sad, it's about being so broken by a lost love that you join a community of the damned. Everyone in this hotel is a permanent resident of their own past. They are trapped in the memory of what they lost. The song describes them broken-hearted lovers, still crying in their beer. They are stuck. Elvis's vocal delivery is chilling. He sings with a strange combination of youthful energy and ancient weariness. The famous echo on his voice makes him sound like a ghost, his words bouncing off the cold, empty walls of the hotel. He's not just reporting on what he sees, he's a resident himself. He's telling you this from inside. The line is soul-crushing because it establishes the song's atmosphere so perfectly and so bleakly. It tells you this is not a temporary stop. This is the end of the line. The imagery is stark and funereal. The bellhop's tears, the black-clad clerk, the gloom on every face. It paints a picture of a past that is not just a memory, but a physical place you can go to. And once you're there, you may never leave. For a young man of 21, it was an incredibly dark and mature theme to tackle. This wasn't a teenage love song. This was a blues-drenched existential nightmare. It suggests a past so painful that it infects the present completely, turning the world into a single, sorrowful location, a hotel at the end of a lonely street, where the only color is black and the only activity is grieving what's gone forever. Number 14, Can You Hear the Sound of Time Running Out? Kentucky Rain was recorded at American Sound Studio in Memphis during the legendary sessions of January 1969. The song was written by Eddie Rabbitt and Dick Hurd. Elvis recorded his vocal on February 19th, 1969. The sessions were a major comeback for Elvis, producing hits like Suspicious Minds and In the Ghetto. It was a return to his musical roots after years of movie soundtracks. The song features a powerful piano performance by Ronnie Millsap. The lyric is "Seven lonely days and a dozen towns ago." This opening line immediately sets a tone of desperate, relentless searching. It's not just that he's been looking for a week. He quantifies his loneliness. 7 days, each one lonely. He quantifies his journey. A dozen towns, each one a dead end. This isn't a casual search, it's an obsession. He is a man against time, against geography, trying to undo a mistake. The song is about a man walking and hitchhiking through a cold Kentucky rain, searching for a woman who left him. The past here is a very recent event, a fight, a misunderstanding, and her walking out. But his desperation makes it feel like a lifetime ago. He is trying to literally walk back into the past to find her and fix what he broke. Elvis's performance is filled with a breathless urgency. You can hear the exhaustion and the frantic hope in his voice. When he sings about the rain keeping cold and gray, you feel the chill. When he pleads with the driver of a truck to take me down the road, you feel his desperation. The whole song is a race against the clock. He needs to find her before she disappears for good, before this recent past becomes a permanent, unchangeable history. The line is crushing because it's so specific. It's a logbook of misery. 7 lonely days. You can feel the weight of each one. A dozen towns ago. You can picture the blur of meaningless places he's passed through, his eyes scanning every face. The past isn't a distant memory. It's a tangible thing he is chasing. He is physically trying to outrun the consequences of his actions. The rain in the song is more than just weather. It's a physical manifestation of his sorrow. It soaks him, chills him, and mirrors the gloom in his soul. He's trapped in a world that is as cold and unforgiving as his own regret. The song's power lies in its relentless forward motion, a frantic push to correct a past that is slipping further and further away with every town he leaves behind and every drop of rain that falls. Number 13, What Happens When the Show is Over for Good. Are You Lonesome Tonight has a long history. It was written in 1926. Elvis recorded his version on April 4th, 1960 in Nashville. This was his first recording session after leaving the army. He was nervous. He wanted everything to be perfect. The famous spoken word section is from Shakespeare's As You Like It. Elvis recorded the song in the dark with only a small light on his lyric sheet to create the right atmosphere. The take you hear on the record was the final one of the night. You can hear a slight bump at the end, which was Elvis bumping the microphone stand. The producer wanted to re-record it, but Elvis liked the feel of the take and insisted they keep it. The lyric is your heart filled with pain? Shall I come back again? This line comes in the middle of the song's spoken word bridge. It's a moment of pure, desperate vulnerability. He has just finished describing the world as a stage and his past relationship as a play. She played her part, he played his. But now the play is over, the theater is empty, and he is alone. He is breaking the fourth wall of his own metaphor. He is no longer an actor. He is just a man, asking a question he is terrified to hear the answer to. The past in the song is a performance. A beautiful, romantic play that had a beginning, a middle, and an end. He remembers the stage, the scenes, how he read my lines so cleverly. But it was all an act. Now, in the lonely silence of the present, he is wondering if there is any reality left beneath the performance. His delivery of the question is what makes it so heartbreaking. His voice is soft, hesitant. It's not the confident king, it's a man filled with doubt. Shall I come back again? It's a question that hands all the power to the other person. He is admitting that he can't go on without her. He's asking for a second act, a revival of the play. But he also knows it's probably a foolish hope. The line is soul-crushing because it reveals the deep loneliness at the heart of performance. Elvis, the ultimate performer, is telling us that his life feels like a show that has ended. The lights are down, the audience is gone, and he's left standing on an empty stage. He is looking back at the play of his relationship and realizing it was the most real thing in his life. And now he's, begging for an encore, knowing full well that encores are rare and the curtain has likely fallen for the last time. It's a glimpse into the profound solitude of a man who lived his life in front of millions, but often felt utterly alone. Number 12, Is There a Debt You Can Never Repay? You Gave Me a Mountain was written by country singer Marty Robbins. Elvis began performing it live in 1972, and it quickly became a centerpiece of his concerts. A powerful live version was recorded during his famous Aloha from Hawaii concert on January 14th, 1973. The song tells a story of a life filled with hardships, but the singer sees them as mountains he has been given to climb. The lyric is, "My woman got tired of the hardships." On the surface, this song is about strength and resilience. The singer lists the terrible things that have happened to him: born in the desert, walked a lonely road, lost his father, and now his wife has left him, taking their child. With each new tragedy, he declares that God has given him a mountain to climb. It's meant to sound stoic and powerful. But this one line betrays the bravado. It's a quiet, devastating admission of failure. He can frame his own suffering as a noble trial, a test of his strength. But he can't do the same for his wife's suffering. She didn't sign up for this. She just got tired. It's such a simple human phrase. Not dramatic, not angry, just weary. She ran out of strength to deal with the life he provided. When Elvis sang this, especially in the 1970s after his divorce from Priscilla, the line took on a heavy autobiographical weight. He was the man whose life was a whirlwind of pressures, a life of constant touring, and immense fame. It was a hard life for anyone to be a part of. This lyric becomes a confession. He sees himself as a man who climbs mountains, but he acknowledges that his quest, his hardships, wore down the person he loved most. The soul-crushing aspect is the implied guilt. He doesn't blame her. He states it as a fact. The life with him was too hard. The mountain he was so proud of climbing was just a miserable burden for her. The past here is a trail of wreckage left behind in his pursuit of. He may have conquered his mountains, but he lost his family in the process. It's the tragedy of a man who is strong enough to bear any burden himself, but discovers too late that his strength has crushed the people he was supposed to protect. Number 11. How Do You Live When Tomorrow Is Canceled? Tomorrow Never Comes was recorded by Elvis on June 7th, 1970 at RCA's Studio B in Nashville. The song was written by Johnny Bond and Ernest Tubb in 1945. It's an old-school country weeper. The recording session was part of the marathon sessions that produced the Elvis Country and Love Letters from Elvis albums. This was a period of incredible creative output for him. Elvis struggled with the song's high notes, eventually recording the dramatic, soaring ending separately and having it edited onto the master take. The lyric is, "I can't believe you're going, I can't believe it's true." This line is a mantra of disbelief. The song is about a lover who is leaving. They had promised to be together forever, but that forever has just been revoked. The singer is trapped in the final moments of the past, the last few hours of his relationship, unable to accept the reality of the present. The repetition is what makes it so powerful. I can't believe. I can't believe. It's the sound of a mind refusing to process trauma. He is stuck in a loop of denial. His entire future was built on a promise, and that promise has just been broken. Without that promise, tomorrow is a blank, terrifying void. Elvis's performance is pure, unrestrained melodrama. He sings the line with a rising sense of panic. His voice cracks with emotion. This isn't quiet regret, it's loud, agonizing heartbreak. He is watching his future dissolve right in front of him. The past, in this song, is a beautiful dream that has just turned into a nightmare. All the happy memories, all the plans they made, they are now evidence of a lie. The lyric is crushing because it captures the exact moment a heart breaks. It's the moment of impact. He's not looking back with sad nostalgia yet. He's still in the explosion. The phrase, "tomorrow never comes," is a devastatingly simple way to describe the end of a relationship. It doesn't just mean we won't see each other tomorrow. It means the concept of tomorrow as a hopeful, shared future has been erased from existence. He is left with only yesterday. The song is a desperate plea to turn back time, to wake up from this bad dream. but he can't. The final powerful note he holds is like a primal scream against the dawn of a new, empty day. He is being dragged out of the warm, safe past and into a cold, lonely present, and he is fighting it every step of the way. Number 10, is there anything more brutal than A Quiet Don't? Elvis recorded Don't on September 6, 1957 at Radio Recorders in Hollywood. The song was written by the legendary songwriting duo Jerry Leiber and Mike Stoller, who also wrote Hound Dog and Jailhouse Rock. This song was different. It was a slow, tender ballad. Elvis reportedly loved the song so much he worked on his vocal for hours to get it just right, wanting to prove he could sing with real subtlety and control. The lyric is, "Don't leave me this way." It's one of the simplest pleas in popular music, just 4 words. But coming from Elvis, the man who represented ultimate confidence and cool, these words are a shocking admission of powerlessness. He is not demanding or commanding, he is begging. The word don't is a stop sign held up to a departing lover, a desperate attempt to halt the inevitable. The past in this song is the beautiful relationship that is about to end. The future is the emptiness that will follow. This line is the singer standing on the precipice between the two. He is looking back at the love they shared and pleading for it not to become history. Don't is a word of pure negation. It is an attempt to unhappen what is happening. Elvis's vocal is a masterpiece of restraint. He sings it softly with a breathy, intimate tone. It's as if he's whispering it in his lover's ear, afraid that if he raises his voice, he'll shatter the fragile moment and she'll be gone for good. There's a tremor in his voice that suggests he's on the verge of breaking down, but he's holding it together for this one last appeal. This lyric is soul-crushing in its simplicity. It's a raw, unguarded moment. All the swagger is gone. All the cool is gone. He is completely vulnerable. He is admitting that without this person, he is lost. Don't leave me this way. The phrase, this way, is so poignant. It means, don't leave me broken. Don't leave me alone. Don't reduce me to this pleading, pathetic state. It's the quietest, most desperate moment in his early catalog. It's a reminder that beneath the rock and roll icon was a person who was just as susceptible to heartbreak as anyone else. He is not the king here. He is a man about to be dethroned from his own life, and his entire kingdom is reduced to a single whispered word, don't. Number 9, What If the World Breaks a Child Before He's Even Begun? In the Ghetto was recorded on January 20th, 1969 at American Sound Studio in Memphis. It was written by Mac Davis. Elvis was initially hesitant to record the song because it was a message song, a departure from his usual material. His producer, Chips Moman, and his friends in the Memphis Mafia encouraged him to do it. The song became a massive international hit and was seen as a bold artistic and social statement for Elvis. It was his first top 10 hit in the US in 4 years. The lyric is, "And his hungry little baby cries." This line is the devastating centerpiece of the song's narrative. The song tells a cyclical story of poverty and despair. A boy is born to a mother who can't provide for him in the ghetto. He grows up angry and desperate. He buys a gun. He steals a car. He tries to run, but he's shot and killed. And as he dies, another baby is born in the ghetto, starting the cycle all over again. The cry of the hungry baby is the sound that begins and ends this inescapable loop. It is the sound of a life starting with a deficit, a life that is already a struggle from its first breath. The cry is not just for food. It's a cry of protest against a world that is indifferent to its suffering. It's the first note in a tragic opera that will play out over the course of this child's short, brutal life. Elvis's delivery is filled with a somber, repertorial gravity. He's not just singing a song, he's telling a story. He's a narrator bearing witness to a tragedy. When he sings this line, his voice is full of a profound sadness and empathy. He doesn't oversing it. He lets the stark, simple words do the work. A hungry little baby. It's an image of pure, defenseless innocence in a world that offers no protection. The past in this song is a relentless, repeating pattern. The story of the boy who dies is the future of the baby who is now crying. The past is a blueprint for a doomed future. The lyric is soul-crushing because it robs the story of any hope. The baby's cry is not a sign of new life and new possibilities. It's the sound of a predetermined fate. It's the announcement that the trap has sprung once again. The song is a powerful look at how the past, in the form of systemic poverty and lack of opportunity, dictates the future. The characters in the song don't have a past of their own yet, but they have inherited a past that seals their destiny. The baby's cry is the most heartbreaking sound in the world, because we, the listeners, know something the baby doesn't. The story has already been written, and it does not end well. Number 8, how does it feel to watch someone else live your happy ending? Wherein That Loved On Look was another track from the 1969 American Sound Studio sessions, recorded on January 15th. The song was written by Dallas Frazier and A.L. Doodle Owens. It's a funky clavinet-driven R&B number, one of the grittiest and most soulful tracks Elvis ever recorded. On the surface, it's an upbeat, almost aggressive song. The lyric is, "I see you found some brand new friends to laugh and talk with." This sounds innocent enough, but in the context of the song, it's a gut punch. The singer is confronting his former lover. He sees her out looking happy, glowing. She's wearing what he calls that loved on look, a look that he used to be the cause of, but now someone else is making her happy. This line is a masterpiece of passive-aggressive heartbreak. He's not accusing her of anything, he's just making an observation, but the observation is filled with bitterness and pain. Brand new friends, he says the words with a sneer. He's implying that he's been easily replaced. The laughter and conversation she's sharing with them is a direct reminder of what he has lost. The past here is a ghost that haunts the present moment. Every smile on her face, every laugh she shares is a direct contrast to the misery he is feeling. He is looking at his own past happiness being reenacted with a different cast, and he is forced to be a spectator. Elvis's vocal performance is dripping with hurt and jealousy. The song has a funky groove, but his voice is raw and wounded. He's singing from a place of deep personal injury. He's trying to sound tough and accusatory, but the pain keeps breaking through. He's a man trying to maintain his pride while his heart is breaking in public. The lyric is soul-crushing because it captures the specific, terrible feeling of seeing an ex-lover thrive without you. It's the realization that you are not indispensable. The world moves on. Their world moves on. And you are left behind, a relic of a past that they have clearly recovered from. The brand new friends represent a whole new life that he is not a part of. He is watching his own history being overwritten, and it's a bitter, painful thing to witness. Number 7, what if you finally win, but the prize is just loneliness? From a Jack to a King was recorded by Elvis on May 26th, 1963, at RCA's Studio B in Nashville. The song was originally a country hit for Ned Miller in 1962. Elvis's version is smoother, more of a pop ballad. It was released on the album For the Millionth and the Last Time, and as a B-side. The lyric is, "From a Jack to a King, from loneliness to a wedding ring." This song is structured as a triumphant love story. The singer is comparing his life before and after finding love. Before, he was a Jack, a loser in the game of love, holding a lonesome losing hand. Now, with her love, he is a king in a palace. It's a classic rags to riches story, but the riches are emotional. The soul-crushing part of this lyric is not in what it says, but in what it implies about the past. It defines his entire previous existence with a single word, loneliness. His life before her wasn't just a life without love, it was a life defined by its absence. He wasn't just a single man, he was a Jack, a low-value card, insignificant and easily beaten. The past in this song is a desolate wasteland. It's a place of quiet desperation, of feeling like a loser. The wedding ring isn't just a symbol of love, it's a symbol of escape. It's his ticket out of that lonely past. The song is a celebration of the present, but that celebration is built on the foundation of a profoundly sad history. When Elvis sings this, there's a smooth, confident quality to his voice. He sounds like the king he's singing about. But knowing his own story adds a layer of irony. Elvis Presley, the man who could have any woman he wanted, singing about a past defined by loneliness. It speaks to a deeper truth about his life. Despite being surrounded by people constantly, he often spoke of feeling intensely lonely. The lyric is a stark reminder that even for the most famous people, the past can be a place of deep insecurity and isolation. Frames love, not just as a source of joy, but as a rescue mission. The singer has been saved from his former self, from his own lonesome, losing hand. The triumph of the song is directly proportional to the misery of the past it describes. It's a happy song that carries the shadow of a very unhappy history. Number 6, Can You Become a Ghost in Your Own Life? There's Always Me was recorded on March 12, 1961, at RCA Studio B in Nashville. It was part of the sessions for the album Something for Everybody. The song was written by Don Robertson. It has a dramatic, almost operatic quality. Despite its power, it was initially released as a B-side. The lyric is, when the evening sun is sinking low and the moon begins to rise. This is the setup for the song's central premise. The singer is talking to a former lover. He's telling her that if her new love ever leaves her, if she ever finds herself alone, there's always him. He is the permanent backup plan, the eternal second choice. The imagery of sunset and moonrise is beautiful, but in this context, it's deeply melancholic. This is the time of day when people are supposed to be together, settling in for the night with their loved ones. For the singer, it's the time when his loneliness becomes most acute. It's the time when he imagines her with her new partner, and it's the time when he hopes selfishly that she might find herself alone and need him. The past in this song is a state of perpetual waiting. He is not moving on. He has put his entire life on hold, waiting for a past love to maybe, possibly, someday return. He is living in a self-imposed limbo, a permanent twilight. Elvis's performance is breathtaking. He starts softly, almost conversationally, and builds to a huge, powerful climax. He pours a lifetime of longing and frustration into the song. You can feel his devotion, but you can also feel how pathetic his situation is. He is offering unconditional love to someone who has already rejected him. The line is crushing because it establishes the singer's passive, tragic role. He is not an actor in his own life. He is a spectator waiting in the wings. He has made himself a permanent fixture of her past, a safety net she can use if her present life fails. He has essentially turned himself into a ghost, haunting the edges of her new relationship, hoping to be seen. The song is a beautiful declaration of love, but it's also a deeply sad portrait of a man who has given up on his own future for the faint hope of reclaiming a piece of his past. Number 5, How Do You Say Goodbye When the Words Don't Exist? It's Over was recorded on January 12, 1966, for the soundtrack of the film Frankie and Johnny. The song itself, however, is a powerful ballad that transcends the silly movie it was featured in. It was written by Jimmie Rodgers, the country singer, not the pop singer. The lyric is, "Your sweet lips are lips, I'll never kiss again." This is a statement of brutal finality. It's one of the most direct and painful ways to describe the end of a physical relationship. The song is a list of all the things that are now in the past: golden dreams, tender moments, shared love. But this line is the most visceral. It's about the loss of physical intimacy, the simple act of a kiss that is now gone forever. He doesn't just say, "I'll never kiss you again." He says, "Your sweet lips." He's remembering the taste, the feeling. The memory is so vivid, so immediate, that it makes the loss even more painful. The past in this lyric is a sensory experience. It's not an abstract idea. It's the remembered sweetness of her lips. Elvis sings this line with a sense of stunned disbelief. His voice is full of operatic sorrow. He's a man cataloging his losses, and this one cuts the deepest. The song builds and builds, the orchestra swells, and his voice soars, all to communicate the immense scale of this personal tragedy. "It's over" is repeated like a tolling bell, each repetition confirming the terrible truth. This lyric is soul-crushing because it focuses on a small, specific detail that represents the entirety of the loss. It's the kind of detail that tortures you after a breakup, a simple memory that can bring you to your knees. He is looking at the person he loves and realizing that a fundamental part of their connection has been severed permanently. The song is a formal declaration of the end. It's the moment you stop hoping and start grieving. And the grief begins with this small, devastating realization, something as simple and as beautiful as a kiss is, now a part of history, a memory that can only be replayed in the mind, never experienced again. Number 4, what's the difference between a promise and a haunting? Love Me Tender was recorded on August 24th, 1956 at 20th Century Fox's soundstage in Hollywood. The melody is adapted from the Civil War era ballad, Ara Lee. Elvis recorded it for his first film, also titled Love Me Tender. He performed the song on The Ed Sullivan Show on September 9th, 1956, a month before the movie came out. The public reaction was so immense that RCA received over 1 million advance orders, making it a gold record before it was even released. The lyric is, "For my darling, I love you and I always will." This is one of the most famous and romantic lines in music history. It's a perfect promise, a vow of eternal love and devotion. On the surface, it's pure, uncomplicated sweetness. It's the sound of new love, of a future filled with infinite possibility. But the soul-crushing aspect of this line is not what it meant then, but what it means now, viewed through the lens of a life lived. The promise of always is a heavy one. For Elvis and Priscilla, always didn't last. For any of us who have made or received that promise and seen it broken, the line takes on a different meaning. The past transforms this lyric from a promise into an echo. It becomes a reminder of a time when always seemed possible. It's the sound of a beautiful intention that couldn't survive the complexities of real life. It's a ghost of a past commitment that haunts the present. Elvis's delivery is incredibly gentle and sincere. He sings it with a quiet, breathy intimacy that makes the promise feel deeply personal and true. He believed it when he sang it, and that sincerity is what makes the eventual failure of that promise so much more poignant. The line is crushing because it represents the peak of romantic hope, a hope that is almost inevitably tempered or broken by time. It's a snapshot of a perfect moment in the past, a moment of pure belief in forever. When you hear it now, knowing the full story, it's impossible not to feel a sense of loss. It's the sound of a beautiful promise that time turned into a painful memory. It's a testament to the fact that even the most sincere vows can be casualties of a future no one can predict. Number 3, are you trapped by what you can't forget or what you can't have? Suspicious Minds was recorded on January 23rd, 1969 at 3 a.m. at American Sound Studio in Memphis. It was written by Mark James. The producer, Chips Moman, was a perfectionist and had Elvis do numerous takes. The song is famous for its unusual time signature changes and for its false fade-out ending, which was Moman's idea. RCA executives didn't like the false fade and tried to remove it, but Moman and Elvis insisted it stay. It became Elvis's 18th and final #1 single in the United States during his lifetime. The lyric is, "We can't go on together with suspicious minds." This line is the thesis statement for the entire song. It's a direct, desperate plea. The relationship isn't being destroyed by a lack of love. It's being destroyed by a lack of trust. Suspicion is the poison that has infected everything. The past in this song is a collection of actions, real or imagined, that have created this cloud of doubt. "Why can't you see what you're doing to me?" he asks. This suggests a pattern of behavior, a history of hurt and mistrust that has built up over time. They are caught in a trap, and the trap is made of their own shared history. They can't escape the memory of past wrongs. Elvis's performance is one of the most passionate and desperate of his career. He sings with a frantic energy like a man trying to hold back a tidal wave. You can hear the anguish in his voice as he pleads for a return to the way things were. He's fighting not just with his partner, but with the ghosts of their past. The line is soul-crushing because it identifies a problem that love alone cannot solve. He says, "I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby." They are trapped by their love and tortured by their history. They can't be together and they can't be apart. It's a perfect depiction of a relationship in its death throes. The past has become a cage. Every action is interpreted through the lens of suspicion. Every word is questioned. The foundation of the relationship has crumbled. The song is a desperate attempt to rebuild on a foundation of lies and doubts, and the singer seems to know, even as he sings, that it's a hopeless task. It's the sound of two people who still love each other but have completely lost the ability to believe in that love. Number 2, Who Are You When Your Other Half Is Gone. Separate Ways was recorded on March 27th, 1972, at RCA Studio C in Hollywood. It was written by Red West, a longtime friend and bodyguard of Elvis, and Richard Manegra. West wrote the song about his own marital problems, but it was recorded by Elvis just 1 month after his separation from Priscilla. The emotional resonance was immediate and undeniable. The lyric is, "It's a shame, it's a pity, and I know I'm the one to blame." This is perhaps the most direct, unvarnished admission of guilt in Elvis's entire discography. There's no mabe here, like in Always on My Mind. There's no poetic metaphor. It's a stark, simple confession. The relationship is over, it's a tragedy, and it's my fault. The song is about the difficult task of explaining a separation to a child. It's a conversation filled with heartbreak and regret. But this line is the moment the singer speaks directly to himself and to the listener. He is taking full responsibility for the destruction of his family. Elvis's vocal is subdued, filled with a deep, weary sadness. He's not wailing or pleading, he's resigned. He's a man who has lost the fight and is now just surveying the damage. The performance is heavy with the weight of his own personal experience. This wasn't just him singing a song Red West wrote, this was him living the lyrics in real time. The past in this song is a series of mistakes that have led to this final, terrible outcome. The line, "I'm the one to blame," invites 100 questions. What did he do? What did he fail to do? The song doesn't give specifics, which makes it even more powerful. It allows us to fill in the blanks with our own experiences of regret and failure. This lyric is soul-crushing because it offers no excuses. It's the sound of a man who has been stripped of all his defenses. He has failed as a husband and as a father, and he knows it. The shame and pity are not just for the situation, but for himself. It's a moment of brutal self-assessment from a man whose public image was all about confidence and control. Here, he has neither. He is just a man left with the consequences of his own actions and the knowledge that he is the sole architect of his own heartbreak. Number 1, what if the saddest song in the world is sung by someone else? Elvis recorded his version of Hank Williams's "I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry" for his 1973 satellite television special, Aloha from Hawaii. He introduced it as probably the saddest song I've ever heard. He had recorded it before in an informal home recording, but this was the definitive, epic version. It was a bold choice for a massive celebratory global broadcast. The concert was watched by an estimated 1.5 billion people. The lyric is, "The silence of a falling star lights up a purple sky." This is not Elvis's lyric. It belongs to Hank Williams, the master of country heartbreak. But when Elvis sang it, he inhabited it so completely that it became his own. This line is a work of poetic genius. It combines sound and sight in a way that perfectly captures the feeling of profound loneliness. A falling star is a silent, fleeting event. To notice it, you have to be paying attention. You have to be alone, looking up at the sky, lost in thought. The silence is the key. The world is so quiet, his isolation is so complete, that even a silent event like a falling star feels loud. It lights up the sky, a momentary flash of beauty in a vast, empty darkness. The purple sky adds to the feeling of twilight, of a world that is neither day nor night, a limbo of sorrow. The past in this lyric is everything. The singer is lonely because of something that has happened, a love that has been lost. He is now adrift in a world that seems alien and empty. He hears a whippoorwill that sounds too blue to fly. He sees the moon hiding its face behind a cloud to cry. Nature itself is mourning with him. He is projecting his own inner state onto the entire universe. Elvis's performance is a marvel of control and emotion. He sings it in front of a massive orchestra and a live audience, yet he makes it sound like a man whispering to himself in an empty room. His voice is rich and deep, filled with an almost unbearable sadness. He treats the lyric with the reverence it deserves. This is the most soul-crushing lyric because it's a almost unbearable description of loneliness. It's the feeling of being a tiny, insignificant speck in a vast, indifferent universe. The falling star is a reminder of how fleeting everything is: beauty, love, life itself. When Elvis, the biggest star in the world, sang these words, it was a profound moment of connection. He was telling 1.5 billion people that he too understood this fundamental cosmic loneliness. He was looking back not just at his own life, but at the universal human condition of loss and giving it a voice.